All right. This is the chapter 11 of The Gathering of Soldiers Part 1. Here's a disclaimer. Zoom in. Yep, nice and big for 3 seconds and then zoom out and leave. There you go. Could have paused. You could have done the pause and read through those if you're new to this. I can't understand because I've been seeing my view of the video results and those people who just step in right in the middle of some chapter, it'll be odd for them. Well, anyways, that's just my opinion, and let's begin with chapter 11. It's called Let the Wealth Reign. Yep, just that's how it sounds like. The soldiers gazed at Sinop in awe. The city was large with marvelous fortifications, containing many markets and auction areas for something valuable, such as slaves. Lord Pericles let the kids out, looking around as if spying on something. Then he made soldiers to connect them together and formed a long line of them, which was pulled by a soldier in front while others moved along with kids so as to keep them together. While that was going on, Apotheos was helping others pull out raided goods from the storage chambers. Ephraim, is it okay to sell those kids here? Wouldn't the Turks notice and come and get us? Apotheos looked at the kids being forced out of the ships. Ephraim smiled in confidence. Nah, I wouldn't think so. The Turks who are in charge of this city aren't the Turks whom we raided from. Therefore, we'll be able to take care of our business here and leave safely. Perhaps spend the night too. Wow, that's nice. I hope we take a break sometime too, Pasio said. Then they continued unloading the raided goods, and when everything else was done, they followed others leading the way into the city. The people started looking from their houses to watch the pirates or wandering mercenaries coming to sell kids to possible customers. Some had yearning looks, others had disgusted looks to see another line of kids coming to be sold off, and the rest of them just looked in blank stares, since it was a normal thing happening often in the large cities like this one. Finally, when they came upon an intersection full of people, they waited for the people to clear out and make way for them. While waiting, Apotheos noticed Thomas coming up beside him. Oh, man, that was quite a struggle. Thomas grunted due to having pushed a heavy cart. Oh, hey, Thomas, do you need some help? Apotheos said. It's okay. I just need some rest, and it'll be all good. Thomas took a deep breath. Heard you got into a fight yesterday. What happened? I was too busy gambling. He looked at Apotheos. Oh, Lucio and I were arguing. He hit me on my left cheek and mouth. Apotheos pointed at his bruise. Thomas looked at his bruise in surprise. Wow, Lucio has never hit anyone before. Interesting. You probably did something very wrong to him. Apotheos spread his arms out in disbelief. I didn't do anything wrong to him. It was mostly arguing. He escalated the whole situation, too. Thomas paused to think for a while. That guy can be quite sensitive, but you wouldn't really know when you look at him. Now, tell me, what did you say or do to him before he hit you? Passios quickly looked around to see if Lucy was nearby, and there he was, some ways away, shielding the kids who were bound by rope. Therefore, Passios thought it safe to continue the conversation with Thomas. I'm not sure. He mentioned that my dad is a drunkard, so I got mad and said that his mother is a wretched woman. Thomas flinched back. Oh, you don't say that to him. Passios, even I don't touch on that topic. We don't know if Lucio has a mother, so we just assume that he's motherless, and he has never shared that with us. That share he did on the ship was a lie, and he didn't write the name when he signed into the organization. Oh, no wonder I felt an intense anger from him just after saying that. But does he have a father? Passios said. Thomas slowly nodded. Don't you remember? His father disappeared years ago, so his uncle raised him. By this time, the soldiers in front started walking again, so they followed. While following, Apotheos continued talking with Thomas. So, how well did you do on the gambling yesterday? Not as well as I thought I would, but I still won a lot, Thomas chuckled. Yeah, when I saw you drastically losing it by the end, I thought you lost them all those gold and silver coins you've won previously, Pasio said. No, I kept many of them hidden underneath my blanket. That's why I was the last one to clean up, due to being careful not to show all that money, Thomas said. They talked some more and a long time later reached the market square of Sunam. In there, some soldiers were left to sell some raided goods they brought along while the rest moved on to look for auctioning stages. Those many soldiers of Lord Pericles stayed in the auctioning area for the morning to quickly sell the kids. On each auctioning stage, there was a professional auctioneer leading the auction to sell the goods and slaves in a profitable, efficient, and enjoyable way. Therefore, the soldiers agreed to employ them and hoped for great returns and profits. When it came to their turn, there were lots of merchants willing to buy them, and of course, they gave them lots of profit on average, since many merchants wanted the kids. There was some incident when the competitive auction would turn into a fight between competing merchants. So the soldiers chuckled to see them fighting over a little boy or girl. The fight would always end in a winner, and he would threaten the loser to not make more expensive offers, the plan which may work, but most of the time it didn't work, and the loser always shouted out the better offer because he didn't lose in the auction. Also, such fights would always draw more people to the scene to look at what the fight is about and to see what's being sold at the auctioning stage. The merchants always had this wide grin when they were able to take their prize at a reasonable price, but they were angry when they had to barely beat their opponents since they had lost a lot of money to buy a single kid, and they knew that the investment has to pay out in the future by greater sum. This anxiousness made them beat the kids when they wouldn't follow them, giving them big tears forming in their eyes, crying for his mother and father who weren't even there. After that, they sold some of their raided goods, such as Turkish tapestries, farming tools, and other things. Therefore, even after paying the auctioneers, Lord Pericles' soldiers left with chests full of gold and silver coins, many times more profit than they had ever earned before. That's how the first raiding expedition of Apasios ended. It was a horror that he wrote down in his book as records of the sinful things that he had done. He couldn't believe that the first thing he would be doing in this organization was straight into an intense raid where he almost died numerous times. Even though he got to keep an enemy soldier's full suit of chainmail for his raiding reward, it came at a big cost on his mental sanity. Everything was so much different when he had killed someone with his sword rather than his gun. For this, he had trouble sleeping the night before. The fight on the ship with Ephraim and Lucy using their siphons was out of the scale of harshness, since he continued to hear the shrieks and cries of burning Turks. However, as dense as he was, he proceeded to follow other soldiers going through the market square without any more bad feelings. Oh yeah, that tastes so good. Here, Apasios, have your fill, Commander Kairos said. It was after a long while of walking around and sightseeing in the market square that the soldiers got hungry and went to various shops to buy food. They sat around wherever they wanted to, and Apasius decided to sit with Commander Kairos to ask about what he did to Lucio the day before. It was then that Commander Kairos was handing him a roasted lamb chop for him to eat. Thank you, Commander. Apasius gladly took it but hesitated for a while. Upon noticing his hesitation, Commander Kairos thought for a while. Don't worry about paying for your share. It's all on me today. Then he looked around at those who were sitting with him, and he noticed that it was Edwin and Ando. Hey guys, I'm feeling great today, so the food is all on me. I'm paying. Commander Kairos patted on Edwin's shoulder. Oh, thank you so much, Commander Kairos, Edwin and Andel said in unison. Soon, others next to Edwin and Andel asked if Commander Kairos would pay for them, but he told them no, saying that they were trying to pull a fast one on him and that there are limits to things. After that, he shifted his head to face Apatius. You are curious about what happened to Lucio yesterday, huh? Aren't you? Whoops, how did you know? Apatius was surprised. Come on, you're too easy to read. I noticed that you are agitating to ask me a question. Commander Kairos placed his hands on the table. Oh, yes. Did you punish him? Apatius took a bite out of his lamb chop. What do you think? Take a guess. Commander Kairos said. I don't know. Lucio looked quite sad yesterday, so I suppose you scolded him at least, Palacio said. Commander Kairos tapped the table for a while and thought. Not really. As for me, scolding doesn't really work on Lucio. But Pericles could do it, and he did it yesterday right after you went into the hall to get treated. Passius ate some food. What did Lord Pericles say to him? Nothing much, really. He did say that you were right about those two Turkish ships, though. And then he commanded us to shift our ships to get as far away from them as possible. That was enough to really crush Lucio's fighting spirit, so it was easy for Pericles to talk some sense into him. Commander Kairos bit off a piece of bread. So, what happened after that? Passius looked at him urgently. You really want to know, huh? Okay, I'll tell you in full. You deserve to know this. Commander Kairos looked around. Anyways, Lord Pericles let us go after some rebukes. Since I previously had control of you guys, I shouldn't have let you guys wander off and fight it out like that. But as for me, he chuckled for a while. I think you guys should really get to know each other, fight it out if need be, and I actually watched through all of that on the corner of the front upper deck. Ephraim was peeking from the ladder below. He immediately went away when Lucio was coming towards me. Oh well, we were acting more like kids. It was fun though, and that's why I just asked Lucio about how he feels after punching him like that. And he was afraid that she wouldn't be his friend anymore. He chuckled again at the end. Passius flinched back in disbelief. Thanks for not harming Lucio though, but it's interesting to know that Lucio was actually worried about that. You'll get to know more in times to come. Well, look, Commander Kairos pointed at Lucio. There he is. I told him to go sit with Ephraim and some other dudes for now. I think they're the ones whom you guys helped on in the ship fight. Oh, I see him. Ha ha, he seems so uncomfortable squirming in his seat like that, Passio said. Yeah, he needs to calm down and let things cool off before talking to you again. We are all too uncertain about him. He's among the few soldiers here who are quite unpredictable. Commander Kairos sighed. Passius looked at Lucio again. Captain Thomas said Lucio doesn't have a mother. Is that true? Well, yeah. We don't know much about his past life. He never had a mother, so he grew up cold and lonely. He said that his father is a mercenary warrior, and gave the note to Lucio to come to this organization. Lucio also said that he never saw his father after that night. That man just got up and left his own son. Commander Kairos looked down. Everyone seemed to have different facts regarding Lucio's life, but Apasius decided not to question and just followed along. That's miserable. Maybe he put all his misery into that one punch in my mouth yesterday then. Commander Kairos placed his hands on the table again. Probably. He may also have had a bad day too. Undel, who was previously busy eating food next to Apasius, got curious. Undel tapped on Apasius' shoulder. Apasius, did he punch you? Yeah, see here? Kind of hurts right now. Apasius pointed at the red part on his left mouth. After looking at the mouth, Undel shook his head. Oh boy, it's a bit swollen. Something's wrong with that guy. Hey Apasius, you should be our group member instead. Lucio is quite awkward and doesn't really talk much. Apasius smiled. Oh, thanks, but I don't think I can because Thomas would never allow Lucio in his group. He has it enough having to see him every day in the room. That's why he put Lucio on that upper bed in the corner and never lets him have the bottom one. Gosh, you're right, Undel frowned. Undel, I was quite sure that you guys would be the ones who would do best in handling Lucio. And you know that you have volunteered for this too, Commander Kairos said. Yes, Commander, I know. We were desperate for one more person back then. Undel looked down in shame. Edvin tapped near Undel's side to get his attention. Hey, Undel, it's fine. Better than a group with a brutish person in it. So just relax. Kai allowed addressing everyone by names now, and quite soon Lucio would give in. Thus went by lunch, and soldiers slowly got out of the shops to start heading back to their ships. Passius still held the last bread and lamb chop in his hands as he walked along with Edvin and Undel. Soon, out of the corner of his right eye, he noticed Lucio coming towards him from his right. Oh, hey Lucio, how was your lunch? Passius greeted when Lucio came closer. Lucio sighed. Nothing special. We just ate some roasted fish, bread, and some fruits at the end. I ate lamb chops, salad, bread, fruits, and cheese. Commander Kairos paid for me. Pausius lifted his hands up in excitement. I'm jealous. You're here for less than a week, but they already like you so much. Lucio looked away from Pausius and spit on the ground. Huh? Is that for real? Thanks, but you know that you could be liked too. Pausius looked at Lucio. First of all, I like you. Pausius placed his fist on Lucio's shoulder. Lucio flinched in surprise but maintained his composure. They didn't like me the moment I came here. Pausius let go his fist from the shoulder. Don't say that. No one really knew about me when I came here. For the most part, I started talking to them first, not the other way around. Anyways, Lucio, you should start complimenting other people first. You tend to not do that at all, but you just walk around like a ghost. Make yourself easy to approach, then others will like you more. Lucio scowled. It's just so hard for me to do that. I was never accustomed to that kind of life. Pausius made an uneasy laugh. Well, I'm sorry that I can't be of any help. It's up to you. You should try harder on that. Lucio stomped on the ground as he walked. Okay, then I'm screwed because I don't want to try. He then shook his head and growled. Pausius flinched back due to Lucio's unusual behavior. That's fine too, Lucio. You don't have to. There are things that you're good at while I'm terrible with, like studying those books and going over the documents in the library. Isn't that the reason why you get along very well with those diplomats? For me, I'm already sick of studying. It's as if I'm serving a prison sentence. But that same thing comes easy to you. Thanks. Lucius stared ahead and continued to walk. Then, they didn't speak for a long while, but just kept the pace along with other soldiers around them. After that, nothing really worth mentioning happened to Apasius. It was just him getting back on the ship with other soldiers and sailing on the seas. This time, they journeyed back to their islands, and it took them 3 days since they didn't stop anywhere and Lord Pericles wanted to stop by Constantinopolis to take the Sunday worship in Hagia Sophia. Therefore, it was evening when they arrived at Constantinopolis' Golden Horn, so they swiftly got into the inns to eat and get some sleep. Alright, so that was the chapter 11, which was Let the Wealth Reign, and I'll end it here. And chapter 12 will be in the next video. So thank you for listening.